The field. Every neighborhood has one. Grass, concrete, or dirt. The stage is the same. The rules, unwavering. And the goals, beautiful.
It goes in! Improbable scenes!
It's where the dream begins to achieve the ultimate victory.
The underdogs have prevailed once again!
One cup, open to all.
There is a celebration in Orlando.
Now, America's oldest soccer tournament is back.
Oh, it's incredible!
The field doesn't care if you're a pro or trying to be one. It only asks, how bad do you want it?
It's unbelievable!
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup.
Pittsburgh Riverhounds welcoming MLS opposition to Highmark Stadium for the first time since 2015. They come off their first ever win against MLS opposition for the first time since 2001 in the Open Cup as they beat New England Revolution last time out. Tonight, they'll try and do the same to Columbus Crew. Welcome into commentary of this Open Cup round of 16 match. Chris Whittingham and the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey on hand. And as you see there, the winner of this game will travel to FC Cincinnati in the quarterfinal. We either have a USL team in the competition or a Hell is Real derby in the next stage, as we can take a look at how these two teams got to this point in the competition. And Gary, for Pittsburgh, late home win over Maryland Bobcats in the third round, eventually winning by 2-0, and then taking the MLS scalp in the fourth.
Yeah, this is the one against New England Revs, and it was so well taken by Danny Griffin in the 44th minute. Was the only goal. Mark Ybarra with a beautiful pass through. Edward Keyser and Burke Failing scoring against Maryland. So a good run so far for Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
And they'll try and do it tonight against Columbus Crew in the fourth round. Absolutely put Loudoun United to the sword, getting the early goal from Yaya Boa, but then a red card for a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity given, and the floodgates would open. They're a long-distance hit, and what a decent one it was from Isaiah Parente, who would have 2 goals on the day for Columbus Crew. Here, Christian Ramirez finding Parente, bang for 3, and there would be many more goals after that. It would finish 5-1 in the fourth round tie, and Columbus Crew will try and now do it against USL opposition again. A trip to Pittsburgh Riverhounds down by the river in Pittsburgh. This fifth round tie begins next. About ready to go for this fifth round tie in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cups and get to starting lineups for Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Columbus Crew. Both teams making changes. Pittsburgh were really aiming for this game by making changes at the weekend. 6 changes from Saturday. Ibarra, Shawumi, Mertz, Harman, Biasi, and DeShields coming into the starting lineup for Columbus. Just 2 players that are holdovers from the Hell Is Real Derby at the weekend with Gustavo Vallecilla and Philip Quinton on that back 3.
Yeah, what surprises me about Columbus Crew is there's none of the big hitters on the bench. No Zella Ryan, Cucho Hernandez, Maton, and Darlington Nagby. None of those that they can throw on at the end. So it's a testing game, this, for Columbus Crew.
3 players for Columbus that are promoted from the MLS Next Pro side. Columbus Crew 2, Thomas Roberts, who makes a 2nd straight start in the Open Cup in that midfield. Taha Habrun on the bench and Gibran Rayo on the bench as well. All players who come up from the Next Pro side. Pittsburgh arriving at this stage of the competition after beating New England Revolution in the 4th round, their first win over MLS opposition in 22 years, and they will try and do it again tonight against Columbus Crew under new management, under Wilfried Nancy. Our matchday referee, Jeremy Shear, gets us started. We're underway. USL against MLS, Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and Columbus Crew. Early press coming from Pittsburgh in towards the Crew that will try pin this side back on occasion when they can go. Columbus were caught out on a couple of occasions at the weekend with the press against FC Cincinnati in their 3-2 league defeat to the side top of the Eastern Conference and local rivals as well. In the derby they call the Hell Is Real Derby, a game that Columbus lost by 3-2. The goal kick, straight away numbers coming flying forward and unable to connect passes. Pittsburgh arriving at this stage of the competition in about as good a form as it can possibly be. 4 wins and 2 draws in their last 6 in all competitions. And with a full crowd largely wearing white tonight, it is a whiteout here at Highmark Stadium. Feel it potentially in the atmosphere. The cup set could potentially be on.
You have to get used to this because Pittsburgh and Highmark almost always play in black and yellow. So to have them in white and have the opposition in black and yellow, I think Pittsburgh fans watching are having to just readjust their mental state for a moment, but they'll get used to it. Besides all those figures you quote about what good form Pittsburgh Riverhounds are in, don't forget Albert Dikwa up front, top goal scorer in the USL, 9 goals in 11 matches. Somebody Columbus Crew will have to keep a very close eye on.
Top scorer in the USL Championship, Albert Dikwa, hit for 9 so far this year and had 11 in 2022. Not really been a prolific goal scorer in the USL. 5 seasons that preceded it, 2, 3, 1, 3, and 3. In those other seasons, the offside flag will come up here against Tola Shawumi. Dikwa has found a rich vein of form and is the no doubt threat in this one for Pittsburgh.
Wilfried Nancy just giving some instructions to his players, and just saw Shawumi. He's a big unit up front, and alongside Albert Dikwa, they're going to be dangerous on the high balls and crosses into the box. Again, something that will test the Columbus Crew defense tonight, I would think.
The Crew early stages unable to play out from the back. A loose touch there and putting his laces through it there. Dos Santos making sure to get rid. Miranda will watch it out of play.
Nice vibe here at Highmark Stadium. 5 matches at home this year, 4 wins and a draw. So again, another thing in favor of the possible cup set here. This is a strong Pittsburgh Riverhounds side, a side that, as you mentioned, won away at New England Revs. So they know what it takes to beat MLS opposition. And they're going to make it extremely hard for the team in black and yellow here tonight.
Thomas Roberts going over and winning an early free kick, trying to absorb some of the pressure. Bob Lilly in charge of this club since 2018. He's been a winning manager at USL level previously with Rochester Rhinos as well. He won league titles. Hasn't really done it in the Open Cup since arriving in Pittsburgh. In his first MLS scalp. That 4th round match, as we showed you in the build-up, Danny Griffin getting the goal on the day. He is in the starting lineup. Is out for the throw. Biasi, one of the changes into this side. There's some threats, though, available for Bob Lilly from the bench. Edward Kiza scored a brace at the weekend. Available, and Canardo Forbes is a long-distance effort coming in there. It's an idea from DC Harmon, the right wingback, would come forward and perhaps try to catch Evan Bush off his line.
Nice positive play here by DC Harmon. Sees an opportunity. It's a little bit optimistic from that far out, but why not have a shot? See what happens. Gets the crowd all pumped up as well. And again, here's his high press from the home side, just looking for any mistakes from the Columbus Crew defense that, as you mentioned, gave away a couple of goals against Cincinnati at the back due to the high press.
Quinton and Biasia. Joining a mid-season loan from Colorado Rapids. He's within MLS too often. Harmon facing the pressure, rather Diklo facing the pressure. Does come out for the throw. Here's Thomas Roberts. Just mentioned one of the players that comes up from the MLS Next Pro side, formerly in the FC Dallas organization. Biasia going through the back of Shawunmi there. Kick to Pittsburgh. It's interesting, the disposition of USL sides coming up against MLS opposition. Bob Lilly telling us ahead of this one that we do not want to just sit in a low block and hope for a 1-0, particularly at home, particularly with this crowd behind them. We want to give it a full go.
I was going to say, they've got the players that can do the damage, not just Dikwe, but off the bench. Kiza, Canardo Forbes, they put Las Vegas Lights to the sword in the last match, 4-0 up, just conceded very late, but a comfortable 4-1 win for the Riverhounds.
Here's Russell Rowe. Moving in towards Christian Ramirez. Just letting it trickle out for the throw is Dos Santos. River in the background, the Monongahela. Of course, this is the city of Three Rivers. Picturesque scenes in American soccer. Downtown skyline. River as you watch on. Great noise in this crowd. You recognize the size of the occasion here tonight. Shields coming forward, losing control. Columbus adjusting for a second consecutive round of playing on an artificial surface. They did away at Loudon this time out, although the adjustment did not take very long. 35 minutes, they were 5-0 up. And with the aid of a red card.
I don't think it's going to happen here. There's one thing about Bob Lilly's side, they're always good defensively. In 176 matches in charge, they've conceded only 166 goals. That's .94. It's less than a goal a game. Yeah, it is remarkable. They're very well organized, and if Columbus Crew are going to win here today, a point that some of their players made in the press conferences, they know they're going to have to win. Captain Evan Bush saying that they have great respect for the Riverhounds and for Bob Lilly.
Columbus facing USL Championship opposition for a third consecutive round. In Indy 11 and Loudoun United to get here. Last year they went out to USL opposition in Detroit City as the referees allowed play to continue there. The challenge of Biasia. Fernand though taking a bit of a different approach. His predecessor Caleb Porter wanting to go for it in these cup competitions. Made 9 lineup changes. Preaching a style up and down the organization, possession-based. Best teams with the ball. MLS
He's not the only one making changes. To be fair to Bob Lilly, he's made 6.
Yep.
So he also has seen the cup as a chance to give other players. Although with Bob, I think he rotates almost every game. I think he just keeps everybody involved on a constant basis, never the same lineup. But most teams, USL included, see the cup as an opportunity to give fringe players and those who are trying to make a name for themselves a chance to prove what they can do.
Panente and Russell Rowe running into trouble in the center of the park. Back there by Sean Zawatsky. Free kick awarded. Zawatsky among the crop of homegrown players that are starting to grow within the Columbus organization. See some yellow Columbus mixed in with black, yellow, and white Pittsburgh. Here's Quinton. This is on youth in this Columbus side. It's coming from their ex-pro team, from their academy. And then Wilfred Dante prided himself his time in Montreal, coming off and finishing second in MLS Coach of the Year voting, leading CF Montreal to their best ever season in MLS, finishing second in the East, winning a playoff match before eventually going out to NYCFC.
Again, just looking at the ages, Pittsburgh's oldest player is 26 years of age. So, to be fair to Bob Lilly, he's got also a young team. There's no players in their teens, they're all in their early 20s. But certainly he's building for the future as well. Lost 2 fantastic players over the summer, Cicerone and Alex Dixon, who are sitting 2nd and 3rd in the USL top goal scorers, with Albert Dick were first. So all 3 of his players from last season are the top 3 in the USL goal scorers charts, and he can afford to lose 2 players and still put out a team and rebuild a team that is sitting 3rd in the East. It's amazing what Bob Lilly does year in and year out.
Veteran players acknowledge himself, well, maybe we could have won it when we had the 3 of them, but they still remain strong, as now Harmon can come forward. Shoulder in there from Viacia, but the referee for a second time is trying to let play continue. Just a bit of shoulder to shoulder there.
It did look shoulder to shoulder, to be honest. I mean, players can go down easily because those were normally given in the past, but I think referees are not allowing it as much anymore. Those easy free kicks you get from just falling over, the refs are not buying it so much these days.
Again, hitting the channels. Deepa trying to catch Evan Bush off his line. Second time tonight, that effort unsuccessful from the Riverhounds.
It's not a bad idea, though, because Evan Bush is a long way off his line from where Dickwa gets the ball, and he sees that he just can't. There's that shoulder to shoulder, which to me it seems fair, but they have been given in the past. But here, as it comes, Dickwa's looking up. Evan Bush, you can see, is about 10 yards out. If he hits that well, it might have gone in.
It will be a throw here to Columbus crew. Pittsburgh coming off a 4-1 win in the league over Las Vegas Lights. A brace from Kiza, Arturo Ordonez, and Danny Griffin involved with the scoring there as well. Pittsburgh starting to find their stride in the league. Will come in towards that near post, could come for Albert Deepa, and the challenge in there from Arfston. Deepa is saying that it came off of the right wing back with Columbus, but it will be a goal kick given to the crew.
It's great skills out wide by the big man Shawunmi here, gets the ball in, and once it goes in, goalkeeper gets caught in near post, he doesn't come to the ball, and then it's just a scramble. Albert Dickwa ever so close to getting that one off, just as enough to get rid of it. And again, it just proves the threat of that combination of Albert Dickwa and his natural goal-scoring talents and the power and presence of Tolo Shawunmi.
Here's Keegan Hughes, another player signed a homegrown contract. 6 players in the starting 11 tonight have yet to start a league match for the Crew. Just in a difficult spot here. Home against a strong team, but still trying to play intricate one-touch football. Executing it nicely there as it comes from Miranda. Roberts making that hard-charging run down that left flank, and the challenge in from Ordonez. It will be a throw. Ordonez, one of the players in this Pittsburgh team with local ties. He is from Spain, but did play his college soccer at the University of Pittsburgh. Getting Pitt to the national semifinals, the College Cup. First time that the Pitt Panthers have ever done that. A few players in the current squad for Pittsburgh just recently out of college, some of whom selected in the MLS Super Draft, but not signed by their clubs. Talents that Bob Lilly knows he can mold. Vallecilla.
Just looking at the defenders of Columbus Crew, knocking the ball around neatly and thinking they've conceded 8 in the last 5. They really desperately need to have a clean sheet, have one of those games where they can build a sense of belief that if they score a couple of goals, they can win. The last match against Cincinnati would have been a heartbreaker.
Decoy trying to flick on, but he's giving it away. Now Russell Rowe trying to take on the volley, and just enough of an intervention there from Nathan Dos Santos to put off the Golden Boot winner from last year's MLS Next Pro.
It's a little half chance, isn't it, as it comes in here. Gets knocked in, and if you think headed first time, which he does, just gets blocked by Nathan Dos Santos. The idea was right, you haven't got time to bring it down, and you've got to hit it first time, which Russell Rowe does. Just doesn't quite get the right connection, not enough pace and good defending.
Mentioned that Golden Boot. 21 goals in 19 games for the eventual champions of MLS Next Pro, Columbus Crew 2. Himself a full MLS contract in that process. Mertz trying to play in behind in towards Dequa, and he's going to get there. The cutback is blocked there by Quinton, but it will result in a corner for Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
It's a danger of Dequa. He's quick, he's sharp. He's got a nose for goal at the moment. He's in great form. As we mentioned, 9 and 11. He's going to cause problems if they give him any space at all to operate in the Crew. He will give them lots of problems.
Robbie Mertz captains the side. His second stint with the club. To Atlanta United organization. And Mertz now to swing in after the referee, dealing with the contact in the area. Header one there from Hughes, still pinging around the area. Nodded around. Now here's Griffin. And Harmon. Mertz now still with numbers to aim for. The header coming in there from Shawunmi, appeals for a penalty, but referee unmoved. Will come out for a throw. There's no VAR in the Open Cup, so the moment goes. It is gone. Look at that delivery there from Mertz.
There's a number of heads that seems to bounce off, but Shawunmi's always going to worry the defenders with his size, and as mentioned, they're going to try and get as much ball into that box as possible. Good test for the defense of Columbus Crew.
Well there from Vallecilla, but Ramirez and Russell Rowe weren't on the same page. Pittsburgh did enter this competition in the second round, but did not have to play a match as they were drawn against Rochester NYFC, a club that did not continue their operations in 2023 in MLS Next Pro. So a free pass into the third round. Faced Maryland Bobcats. They won by 2-0, eventually beating New England Revolution in the 4th round. Pittsburgh Club in various forms of USL since 1999. Actually found their home here April of 2013. Expanded to a little over 5,000 seats. Ramirez tripped off it there by Ibarra. It will be a free kick to Columbus.
Yeah, not much in this. The referee's right there, he's literally 2 yards away, so he sees enough contact. Problem with that is if you do it again and maybe a third time, suddenly you're in the book. So we'll try and avoid giving away those sort of free kicks if possible.
Zawadzki on for Hughes. Columbus really struggling to get a foothold in the game as yet. Trying to spell a possession here from the free kick. Hughes. Brother Roberts trying to help it on there. Let's come out for the throw.
We ask that you enjoy yourself, but also do so in a responsible way. That's considered those around you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Automobiles on site, varying points. Match day here in Pittsburgh. Miranda losing his footing. The nutmeg on the turn there. It's a lovely bit of skill, but didn't quite lead to anything. And now Digua is having that angle narrowed there by Philip Quinton. 6'6" center back out of Notre Dame.
6'5" forward and Shawonmi, so they're going to be a good match throughout this game.
Zawadzki losing his footing there in a dangerous area. There is Shawonmi. And on here for Ibarra. Harmon. Poke it beyond Miranda. The 3 more experienced players in this Columbus side tonight. Shawonmi was offside. Miranda joining from the Seattle Sounders, won the CONCACAF Champions League. His time in Seattle. Evan Bush, 37 years of age. Close to 190 MLS starts in goal. To be the experienced backup for both Schulte and Eloy Room.
Schulte with that error against Cincinnati, it was a really bad one. Goalkeeper coming in for a lot of criticism. Something Evan Bush was sympathetic about, but obviously will no doubt be extremely careful with his time on the ball at the back. They've done so well to get back in that match against Cincinnati before that goalkeeping error cost them.
Now Mertz again trying to play in Digua. Digua's in behind! Digua's open the scoring! The flag stays down, and the USL's top goal scorer has put the Riverhounds ahead of MLS opposition in the Open Cup. Pittsburgh 1, Columbus 0. Could the cup set be on here?
It's a great finish from Albert Digua. He is in such incredible form at the moment. Lovely ball played through for him, and once he was away, they weren't going to catch him. Just waited for Evan Bush to come up before slipping it past him. But here is that ball played in from Robbie Mertz. Absolutely perfect. Times it well. Waits for Evan Bush. Not much the goalkeeper can do, and the striker's got that much time to pick his spot. But Robbie Mertz, give him credit for that pass, for the head up, the ball from the captain. And the fans love it. We talked about the pressure here at Highmark Stadium. Well, the pressure's just gone up a whole nother notch for Columbus Crew.
And Pittsburgh taking advantage of the high line there. Digua timing his run well. Mertz with a perfectly weighted ball. And those are the moments that Bob Lilly has talked about that have been the signs of improvement from Albert Digua. So often in those positions in the past, but has not always been clinical with them. He has been sensational this season. Already has 10 goals in all competitions.
It's a problem for the Crew. We said 5 minutes ago that they conceded 8 goals in the last 5. They had to try and find a clean sheet so that the strikers have got something to build on, the confidence that if they score, there's a good chance they're going to win the match. But once again, they have conceded. It must be a major concern for Wilfred Nancy. Most good teams, they build upon a tight defense that gives very little away.
Down the line there by Vallecia. Comes off of DC Harmon, the Liberian-born wingback. To the U.S. at age 14.
Tickets online at riverhounds.com.
He will send it in towards the area. It's awkward work to do there for Luke Biassi, but let's do the job. Not seen too much of Jumali Waite tonight. It's a remarkable testament to the defensive work that the Riverhounds have done. Waite, the Jamaican international, got his first competitive appearance for the Reggae Boys, and what a place to get it in. Estadio Azteca, the Nations League against Mexico, a game that Jamaica had a famous point in, drawing 2-2 with El Tri. Waite in goal. Bush, Thomas Roberts. Over disposition be now of the Riverhounds. That they have their lead, they're still getting numbers forward into the press. Don't want to sit in the low block for too long. They got the goal they crave. Touch there from Zawadzki, trying to poke it in behind, but no space to find. Early side compact as ever.
It's a team that's used to going behind, or not used to it, but when they are behind, they're used to being able to get back in the match. They don't get nervous, and conversely, when they go ahead, they're very difficult to break down. It's a well-drilled side, I think. When you speak to any coach, when you speak about Bob Lilly, talk about organization.
As DC Harmon has won the free kick in a fairly promising area. Referee allowing a fair bit of contact to go, but that time, awarding a bit of an advantage, is the free kick.
Some musical accompaniment in between. Just to increase the vibe in the stadium.
Fans getting dressed up for the occasion as well. Pittsburgh are starting to draw more regular sellout crowds here at the Highmark Stadium. Community recognizing what they have in the Riverhounds. Hurts has it left for him. Swings in a decent ball. Header away from Quinton. Now Harmon. And Biassi. His cross is lofted out of play. Never got the right angle on it.
It's a pity there were numbers in the box there for Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Biassi just got to get that quality. Just get the ball in and ask questions of Evan Bush. Can he come and get it? Ask questions of the defenders. Can they head it clear? As the fans watch on, all dressed in white. Still trying to get my head around the fact that it's the opposition in black and yellow at Highmark Stadium, but I'm sure I'm not the only one. There's lots of Riverhound fans going through the same problems.
Miranda. Hooked on here for Russell Rowe. Into the area, trying to squeeze his way between two. Does manage to play it off of Dos Santos. And it is a corner. Of course, the state of Pennsylvania, well familiar with whiteouts. Penn State University football team love to have those on big nights, and Pittsburgh tapping into a bit of that history. Miranda to take the corner. Whipped in towards that penalty spot. Strong hitter away. Zawadzki with nowhere to go. Just has to play it back to Evan Bush. His third season after joining from Vancouver. Actually came up with the then Montreal Impact, now CF Montreal, from USL into MLS. These two sides would once have a partnership. A few Columbus players would come down and get experience playing with the Riverhounds in USL. Players that actually came through at that period was Zach Steffen, who would go on to be Manchester City, Middlesbrough goalkeeper, played quite a few times for the U.S. national team. Miranda and Roberts interchanging there. Just a little bit of contact in there from Harmon, putting off Roberts, and sort of contact that the referee's been fine to let continue.
The big question for Columbus Crew now is how do they get back in the match? Pittsburgh happy just to sort of sit in the mid-block, watch the ball go around. They're not high pressing as much anymore. They've got the goal. And they're saying to Columbus Crew, well, what can you do? How do you break us down? And if you make any mistakes while you're doing it, we'll pounce on you and get a second. And again, the Bob Lilly teams are normally so well organized that if you slip up in any form, they will take advantage of it somehow.
Vaiasia just trying to use the turf to his benefit and let it roll out for the goal kick. Columbus just riding the waves of form and the waves of bringing through a new playing style. Wilfred Nonce. Strong periods. There's a frustration challenge in there from Vaiasia. Shortage of options and shoving over Mertz there. Be a free kick just out of the touchline.
That's a clever play from Robbie Mertz, winning the ball back. Look at that, gets between ball and the player, wins the ball back, and then goes down with a bit of a shove in his back and wins the free kick. So from not having the ball, he's not only won it back, he's got a free kick in a dangerous position. Warning again for Vaiasia and company that this is a clever Pittsburgh Riverhounds side, and I know they're not taking them lightly, but it's more than that. They're in for a real battle here today at Highmark Stadium. No doubt about that.
And Pittsburgh will get the goal from Albert Dikwa, trying to press for more. Taken short. Also ball in behind. Can Harmon get to it ahead of the byline? The cutback. Not arrive in time, as it is a goal kick.
I think DC Harmon thought he was offside there and hesitated. Saw the flag come up out the very corner of the screen there. Again, it's the home side who are putting a fair amount of pressure on. I think again they've decided now is a good time for the high press. They're 1-0 up, and if anything goes wrong here, any mistake by Columbus Crew, and suddenly they're 2-0 up, and then they do have a mountain to climb. So important 15 minutes just before half-time for the Crew.
Impressive disposition here. Bob Lilly's side. Their attempts to go direct have not worked too often, but just come off there. Russell Rowe. Ramirez into the penalty area. Comes kindly for Russell Rowe. Sliced across it, but did take a deflection. It will be a corner to Columbus Crew.
Haven't had many chances up front, but when they do come along, they're very sharp. Russell Rowe, Christian Ramirez, you know that in an instant they can turn something around. And again, he doesn't take that second touch. That's what I like about him.
And this subsequent corner is headed clear once more. Big switch out towards Hughes, or rather Miranda is away for a throw. Person carrying a beer and was nearly startled. I was afraid it was going to hit her in the back of the head.
I saw the same thing, the lady there with her hands full. I'm thinking, oh no, please don't. Just mentioning Russell Rowe, twice he's had a little, not even a half chance, a quarter chance in the box, and he's so sharp, doesn't try and bring it down, just hits it first time. No wonder he did so well in MLS Next Pro.
Nearly given away there in the middle by Ibarra. Sending long. Mertz. Yassi. Some passage and play here for the Riverhounds. Try and get forward. Chipped in towards Shawunmi. Just couldn't get to it in time. Bush doing well to marshal it out of play.
It's a promising move. It's a little bit softer and Shawunmi gets it. Albert Dikwa is waiting in the box, and no doubt Wilfred Nancy's a little bit concerned here. They're 1-0 down. They're struggling to great opportunities, and they're being high pressed in their own half, so It's a testing time for the Columbus Crew coach. Must be wondering what he can do. And as mentioned, he hasn't got the big players on the bench you can throw on, which surprised me. I would have thought, you know, yes, you might not want to play Zella Ryan or Cucho Hernandez, Darlington Nabby, etc. But you might just want to have them on the bench just in case you need to bring them on last 10, 15 minutes. But they're not available, so it's very much the team that's on the pitch. And a couple of subs are going to have to find their way through against the Riverhounds.
Mertz. The first time service in from Harmon takes a deflection. It comes kindly there for Bush. Pittsburgh trying to get to an Open Cup quarterfinal for the first time since 2001. Colorado Rapids on that run. Columbus stuck in this position a fair amount tonight. In their own box and not really too many options to get forward. Pittsburgh very much shrinking the pitch. Dikwa on for Mertz, volleyed into the area. A lovely flick there, but a catch from Evan Bush. And it was solid work there from Biasi getting forward from wing back, creating the option. Nice little bit of skill.
Okay, just another reminder in case any Columbus Crew fans thought this was a fairly straightforward match, just how good Pittsburgh Riverhounds are, how hungry they are, the form they're in. The fact they've got the USL's top scorer, Albert Dick. There's a whole bunch of things, and their home form in particular. A whole bunch of reasons why this was always going to be a very difficult match for the Crew, and that's exactly how it's turning out to be so far anyway.
Parente. Vallecia. Quinton. Rhythm, bit of flow, but Pittsburgh always trying to interrupt it. Mertz's header comes here for Ibarra. Strong header there from Keegan Hughes. Miranda in a bit of space. Russell Rowe. Added a bit too much pressure there, but can keep it. Sawatsky. Came through the Crew Academy, played his college soccer at Georgetown. Here in the first team, has made 9 substitute appearances in league play.
Just looking at the Crew, the one thing they have not been able to do that I can see in this first 37 minutes or so is get anything down the width on the left-hand side. Jimmy Brander and Max Austin on the right-hand side. They haven't beaten their men. They haven't got crosses in. They've tried to play it through the middle, and there's too many white shirts, and Russell Rowe and Ramirez are just not able to get the ball and turn and have a go. They need to get more width, I would think. They need to take on the fullbacks, whipping crosses, get behind the defense and start to worry the Riverhounds, which they really haven't been able to do as yet.
Try and go long in towards Medranda and Dos Santos. Just making sure by heading away for another corner.
Well, there you go. I mean, it's a long ball. It's not pretty, but it puts the defense under pressure. You get a corner from it. They have to start getting into these positions where they can hurt Pittsburgh if they're going to win this match, Columbus Crew.
And this time, Medranda will leave for Isaiah Parente to take. This one in towards Jamali waits, but able to catch. Commanding in the air there from the Jamaican.
He's had a good season so far. 2 clean sheets against RGV and FC Tulsa. He's made some good saves as well, and that one just way too close to the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper's going to catch them all day long, so you work hard to get a set piece and then you just give it away. Don't think Wilfred Nancy will be happy with that quality of play from his team.
Probably watching on.
saying a few words. It's very rare
Yeah.
that he doesn't. He constantly gives advice and the occasional telling off from the touchline, but incredibly passionate man about his football teams. And just year after year, loses star players, as we mentioned, Alex Dixon, Russell Cicerone, sitting second and third in the goal scorers charts of the USL. And he still rebuilds a team and comes out successful.
Three major tenets to his style of play. Don't give anything away, dictate the game, and be dynamic. Interesting that the first one is don't give anything away.
Yeah. Defensively very strong, something that the crew are battling with. I'm sure Wilfred Nancy would love to have the discipline and organization that Pittsburgh show. Okay, they're two different levels, MLS and USL, I get it, but somehow drummed into Pittsburgh players not to give the ball away in certain areas, not to take risks, to close down, to all the obvious things, but they do it so well and they do it consistently.
Fernance very much focusing on the attacking early stages as Medranda will get the cross in towards the back stick away there from Biasi. The throw for the crew. Columbus on nearly 2 goals scored per game.
It was better, Christian Ramirez, and if you saw him just applauding that cross in from Medranda, saying, I need more of that, put those crosses in, that one didn't quite work, but don't stop.
Medranda. The throw. Challenge on Roberts. 25 goals in MLS, 13 different goal scorers as well. Possession principles, the attacking principles are coming through, but as you mentioned, Gary, at times taking risks. It is all part of the idea, including the goalkeeping mistakes of Patrick Schulte at the weekend. Fernance coming up to the player and saying, this is what we ask you to do. Mistakes will happen.
Yeah, I get it, but I think more and more ex-professionals are saying there's certain risks you can take and some you shouldn't take at the back. And Patrick Schulte holding onto the ball far too long. If there's no one to play to at some point, just knock it down the pitch. Get you on a play out from the back, and all in favor of that. But when the options start disappearing, and you can't take risks, and too often we see it even at the EPL level as well. Goalkeepers doing silly things at the back when, if you're not sure, just belt it down the pitch. Maybe the big centre forward flicks it on and you score. So it's not the end of the world knocking it wrong.
The atmosphere in the stadium, you don't hear the full scope of Bob Lilly's pitch-side instructions, but right night, we'll hear him for the full 90.
You don't want to be the right fullback who's right next to him on the touchline.
Or the left fullback in the second half.
But it's always good advice, I would guess, that he gives, and he means it in the right way. And yeah, you know, it might be tough sometimes when you're a player being told what you've done wrong all the time. That's how you improve.
There are certain players that are Bob Lilly lifers. Think of Kenardo Forbes, been with this club for 6 years and was with him before that in Rochester. USL player for every season he's been in Pittsburgh. Is Dikwa the man down? You have some concern pointing towards his temples.
The injury in the head, you've got to stop immediately, as the referee quite rightly has done, Jeremy Shear. Just looking at the bench for the home side, Edward Kieser, you mentioned 2 goals against Las Vegas Lights. Kenardo Forbes, of course, the highest number of assists. Have a look here, this is the clashing of heads. You can see exactly how that happened. Kenardo Forbes, most assists for the USL in history, so they've got some firepower on the bench. Riverhounds, not so sure that the Columbus crew have that level of firepower that they can bring on.
The referee is just calibrating here on the near side. As Dikwa was trying to head it on there and caught the head of Philip Quinton.
It's all happening there. Trains, boats, you name it.
Clearly mentioned planes, trains, and automobiles, but you had to swap out the planes for the boats.
He's looking at expected goals as we get to half-time. Pittsburgh 0.45, so a goal is a good return from nearly half a goal's worth of chances. The visiting team 0.17.
Columbus have really struggled to create.
It's all good, pretty football, but end of the day, the game is about creating chances and taking them. So far, the Crew haven't quite done that.
It's volleyed away for the throw. We talked about earlier, Gary, a ton of the top players for Columbus available from their bench. Tends to leave a few guys home before their trip to Nashville at the weekend. Quinton. Just about helping it on there for Roberts. Medranda doing well to cut inside. I didn't fancy a hit. He did, but it was not the best effort.
Nearly hit that train that was passing by. Again, I think he's got to try and get down the line and whip it in. That's what his forwards want. They want him to hit the line, hook the ball back, give them chances in the 6-yard box. And obviously, if there's a gap to come inside and shoot, so be it. But number one aim for both the wingbacks, Mac Austin, we've hardly mentioned his name. He's done very little on that right-hand side. Now, maybe he hasn't got service, but he needs to demand it, he needs to attack, he needs to service the guys in the middle up front.
Russell Rowe with the header on. This is where you go press, wait there as we are into a minimum of 2 minutes into this first half. Viacia. Huge chunk of the same team that played against Loudoun United in the last round, but far more prolific from an attacking point of view. One of the strong men on the day was Yaya Boa, another player unavailable for selection.
He got the first goal, if I'm correct. And then there was a sending off shortly after that. And
so influential in other moments as well.
And it just became downhill. And, Pittsburgh, a lot tougher mentally. They don't give you stuff easily, so not surprised that they've struggled to break through Columbus Crew.
Hurts. Leaving too much of it there for Griffin to go chase. Final knockings of this first half. Right now, Albert Dequa's goal. Pittsburgh on the precipice. Might happen. USL and MLS sides come together, particularly when the USL side is hosting. As Harmon trying to get beyond Thomas Roberts there. It will be a free kick as we pull Roberts to the ground. And there is the halftime whistle. The cup set could be on here. Pittsburgh Riverhounds getting the goal through the USL's top goal scorer, Albert Dequa, in the 22nd minute, and they lead Columbus Crew by a goal to 0.
They do, and I think fairly so. I think they've been the better side first half. They've been the more creative around the box. They've had more chances. The ball's been bouncing around in the box a bit more. Evan Bush has been way more busier than Jamali Waite. So far, so good. Of course, Columbus Crew have lots of quality. The big question is, can they make that quality count in the second half?
That is the challenge for Wilfried Nance's side heading into the second 45 minutes as Pittsburgh trying to get to the quarterfinal. The first time since 2001, a club that's been around since 1999 and trying to enjoy one of their most famous nights here at Highmark Stadium as Pittsburgh get the goal in this first half through Albert Dequa. And what a goal it was. Fantastic ball in behind from Robbie Mertz, and the Riverhounds lead the Crew by a goal to 0 at the break. Bring our halftime show coming up next. Welcome back to Highmark Stadium. Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Columbus Crew in the 5th round of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Chris Whittingham and Gary Bailey taking you through halftime of this one. And yesterday, there were 4 teams that punched their ticket to the quarterfinal stage of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Let's take a look at the Tuesday night highlights from the Open Cup, and we begin in Red Bull Arena, where FC Cincinnati were taking on New York Red Bulls Cincinnati, the MLS League leaders, getting the scoring started through a fantastic strike there from Yakubo. Ryan Mira just unable to keep that one out, and Cincinnati would hit the front just before the break, and the Red Bulls would leave it late. 93rd minute, final knockings of the game, put the ball in the box and let Dante Van Zier have a hit.
Yeah, and he hits it so well, doesn't he? Gets it right in the corner. Goalkeeper doesn't even move, can't see it through all those legs, and they're 1-1. And they go into extra time and penalties.
Yes, this game would indeed go to a penalty shootout. FC Cincinnati converting all 5 of their takes, including the winner from Alvaro Barreal. And it is FC Cincinnati through to the quarterfinal stage of the Open Cup. In Fort Lauderdale, Lightning interrupting this game on multiple occasions, but Miami would eventually hit the front against Nashville SC. Franco Negri with a fantastic chip to give the Herons the opening goal in this one, but then Nashville bringing on some of their heavy hitters from the bench, Hani Mukhtar and Alex Mouil, and it would be Mouil on the right end of this cross from Lawrence Wyke to draw this game level at 1 just after 70 minutes. But then after the second Lightning delay, Miami would find the go-ahead goal. Corentin Jean on for Nicolas Stefanelli. Fantastic finish in the bottom corner, and the fans that stayed through the inclement weather get their reward as Miami are in to the quarterfinal of the Open Cup. Corey Baird won this penalty and then converted it for Houston Dynamo, then pulling off the great chip for the second on an ice ball from Amina Bassi. There is that pass. It is sensational. Houston 2-0 ahead at this point of 10-man Minnesota United. They did have a player red carded in the first half, Kevin Arriaga, their midfielder. Then Baird turning provider, Ibrahim Aliou, his first Houston Dynamo goal. And Houston are cruising at this point at 3-0 over Adrian Heath's Minnesota United. And then just before full time, making sure and getting Corey Baird his hat trick on the night. Aliou played in behind. This time he turns provider for Corey Baird. Nice left-footed finish. He had 3 goals in 45 games for Houston Dynamo, and they gets 3 in one night. Gary, you are commentary in this one. El Trafico, Open Cup edition, LAFC, LA Galaxy. Ricky Pooch missing the penalty.
He didn't miss it. Goalkeeper saved it. Come on, Chris, give the keeper some love. But what a great chance there for Ricky Pooch. Dueñas bringing down Brookman. Now look at Pooch again. Just instrumental ball is going to go wide to Tyler Boyd, who came on as a sub, cuts in on his left foot. What a strike that is. Absolutely brilliant. Back of the net. And Ricky Pooch had so much to do on the night. Yes, he did have his penalty saved, but he made up for it for this run. Look at the acceleration, ball at his feet, head up, looking for options, decides to go himself inside one, outside the other, past the goalkeeper, over the line, and that was the final score. LA Galaxy go through to the quarterfinals to play either Colorado Rapids or Salt Lake.
Absolutely brilliant goal. Might be goal of the tournament from Ricky Pooch, and the Galaxy get a much-needed win over LAFC, and this is how the bracket looks. Pittsburgh and Columbus, as we've discussed, will pay a visit to FC Cincinnati. Are they to progress? Houston Dynamo through. They will face away from home the winner of Austin and Chicago. Colorado Real Salt Lake in the Rocky Mountain Cup will face the winner of the Galaxy, and Birmingham and Charlotte will face Inter Miami in the next round. We're at halftime. Pittsburgh and Columbus not far from the second 45 minutes from Highmark Stadium. Pittsburgh Riverhounds leading Columbus Crew by 1-0 at Highmark Stadium in the 5th round of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Albert Dikwa with the goal right now that represents the difference in this game as we get to our first half highlights from this one. And an early theme was Evan Bush playing a bit off his line and Pittsburgh players trying to catch him out there. Harmon's effort going over.
Yeah, DC Harmon wasn't too far off in the end, and there was another little half chance here from the ultimate goal scorer, Albert Dikwa, who tried to lob him but didn't quite get that right. And early on, there were chances, but this is the big moment. Robbie Mertz gets that turnover ball. Dikwa just miles away on his own. Keegan Hughes is chasing him and not getting anywhere close. He's got time in the world, and he picks his spot past Evan Bush.
And a key part of that move was Ordonez's challenge that leads to that ball in behind, and then a cheeky little flick there from Luke Biasi, but ultimately caught by Evan Bush in the end. And then from the Columbus corner, straightforward catch there for Jamali Waite. And the thing absent from that highlights package, Gary, is chances for Columbus Crew.
Yes.
There just weren't many.
There weren't, not at all. Expected goals, 0.22 for the entire first half. Not good enough for a team from the MLS, and you wonder what changes they're going to make. And have a look at the shots on target, one each, but that doesn't really tell the story. Pittsburgh Riverhounds were much sharper around the box, created much more little half chances, and I could only think that the likes of Amundsen, Farsi, Adam Morris are going to have to come on second half and liven things up for the Columbus Crew.
And that 74% possession figure not really telling the story either, as the other games going on in the Open Cup tonight. Birmingham and Charlotte only just getting started. Austin FC and Chicago Fire, the 9 o'clock kickoff, and the late kickoff is Colorado home with Real Salt Lake, a second straight Rocky Mountain Cup. Second in 5 days as they played in the league at the weekend, as well as Pittsburgh lead over Columbus Crew by 1-0. They'll try and see out the cup set on the other side. The second half is next. Not far away from kickoff of the second 45 minutes at Highmark Stadium, Pittsburgh Riverhounds looking to produce yet another USL over MLS win in the Open Cup. There have not been too many of them in this edition of the competition, to be fair. Pittsburgh already having produced one of them. Other side from USL reaching this stage of the competition, Birmingham Legion have only beaten USL opposition. Not had our usual dose of cup sets this year. trying to keep the magic of the cup alive. Very good fifth round so far. Quite dominant have the Riverhounds over Columbus in the opening 45 minutes. Referee Jeremy Shear getting us started in the second half. Pittsburgh 1, Columbus 0 as we get proceedings started, and Wilfred Nancy will be looking for a response from his team. Struggled to really open up Pittsburgh. They passed a lot between themselves, between the goalkeeper and the back three, but real threat from a few set piece opportunities as well. The free kick will come on halfway, and a chance for Columbus to get some numbers forward into the attack. Columbus making 9 changes for the team. Played at the weekend against FC Cincinnati, leaving quite a few heavy hitters back home. Lucas Elarayan, Cucho Hernandez, Darlington Nagby, Alexandre Matan, and Columbus short on the threatening players.
Just looking at Columbus, and I'm guessing that the halftime talk was about you've got 15 minutes or so to impact this game, and if you don't impact the game, then the substitutes are coming off the bench, and that's why I think the likes of Amundsen, Farsi, and Aidan Morris, those three definitely can make an impact, but the coach will probably give the current players 10-15 minutes to try and prove to him why they should stay on.
Columbus did not start brilliantly well at the weekend against FC Cincinnati. We're 2-0 down in the opening half hour. Found the response in the second half, got to 2-2. So eventually the points slip away at their local rivals. Found the response enough to find it again here tonight.
A bit of a wind against Pittsburgh. They had it going with them in the first half. You look at the top of your screen, you'll see it, and I just wonder if that, there you go, the high ball gets blown back. I wonder if that's going to impact how Pittsburgh play out under pressure.
Arfs, Keegan Hughes. Columbus unchanged out of the break. Here's Roberts. Wedges away through tight spaces, and that's been a theme for the crew. Mark in very tight areas. Pittsburgh narrowing the spaces for Columbus to play it. They won a free kick and taking it quickly. Cross into the penalty area. Dealt, if only temporarily, there by Dos Santos. Pittsburgh trying to clear lines, and now fully do through DC Harmon, and Dequa's in behind. Has to control it here, and the wind playing a role, as you mentioned, Gary. First time in behind, and onside there as Griffin has enough pace to get to it. Goal scorer in the last round. Nice bit of skill. Takes a strike on, and it can come kindly to the back post. The challenge in from Viacia as Robbie Mertz wound up to have a hit on the volley. It does result in a Pittsburgh corner.
Danny Griffin doing really well here, keeps the ball in play, cuts back on his right foot, and has what I think's a shot, but it turns out to be a pass. Whips it across there. Under control, Robbie Mertz. The first touch doesn't kill it completely, so it bounces up on him. They get the corner.
Mertz. Swing into the area, plenty of height on that one. Goes over the head of Danny Griffin. Miranda has only just kept it in play, but nobody forward there from the set piece, and Dos Santos controlling. Quinton. Arfston. Trying to get numbers forward, and Russell Rowe trying to win a second ball. After allowing play to continue, as the challenge came in there from DeShields, but ball forward will come for the Columbus Crew goalkeeper. Bob Lilly, the hopeful, will have given a strong message to his team at halftime.
It's the same message he probably always gives, you know, keep organized, keep working hard. He doesn't allow any player to slack off in his team. They do have the advantage, Pittsburgh. They just had 2 matches in the last 2 weeks, both at home, so no traveling. Whereas for Columbus Crew, they've had 4 matches in 2 weeks and quite a bit of being on the road. So that does affect your energy levels. And so that's another advantage to Pittsburgh Riverhounds for this game.
Playing midweek football for 4 straight weeks, Columbus. Do so again at home against Colorado. A week from tonight, were they to progress, would play midweek football for a 5th straight week, as the cross will come in, but it's a bit off there from Jason Russell Rowe. 20-year-old puts it out for the goal kick.
It's the lack of quality that'll be worrying Wilfred Nancy. Interesting about his team talk, or sorry, his press conference rather, after the defeat against Cincinnati. Just talking about his philosophy and finding the player who's in space and just keeping it simple and having the character to overcome the difficult moments. So that's what was missing in the match against Cincinnati at times. They just didn't quite keep things cool. Bad 10-minute spell where they, early in the first half, where they didn't do what they should have. They'll be looking for a better response here today.
Wait. Sawatsky trying to control. Does eventually for Roberts. On for Russell Rowe. This cross deflected away for another corner. Their 4th of the match. They've done a ton with them. Roberts available edge of the area. He'll have a strike on. And forces Wade into a decent save. And to have his near post covered. And Roberts testing the Pittsburgh goalkeeper.
That's better from Columbus, gets something on target. Jamali Wade up to it this time. We didn't see much of that in the first half. Much better here. You never know, through a whole forest of legs, sometimes goalkeepers can be blinded. Maybe it gets a deflection.
Wade gets the punch on it this time.
Fans, just as a reminder that after the game, Perry and Colorado goes to the field. Stick around week 3.
Sawatsky will try and loft it again into the area. Valente trying to take down, but a bit too much on it. Wade trying to get Pittsburgh going quickly. Burns had it tracked, but Roberts winning the header. More zip about the Columbus play coming out of the break.
But a suspicion that the halftime talk in the locker room wasn't a pleasant one. No doubt that Wilfred Nance had a few harsh words for his players.
Shields is poking away for the throw. Pittsburgh still with strong attacking options to come on should they require them. For the moment, it is about staying organized and hanging on. Russell Rowe is possessed there behind by Biasi. Does manage to get rid, and now trying to make it awkward. He's helped it on there for Digwa. Challenge coming in from behind there from Sawatsky. Managed to poke it off of the Cameroonian striker, and he now goes down. That will be of some concern to Pittsburgh.
It's not a good sight for the Riverhounds. And they do have Edward Kieser with his 2 goals in the last match against Las Vegas Lights to bring on, but it's a problem if it's a bad injury and he could be out for a few weeks, because he has been absolutely unstoppable, Albert Digwa. The crowd wanting to put the ball out, Columbus Group, but they're under no rule to do that.
I see turning and playing it back to Evan Bush, and now the referee will stop play. Albert Digwa has stayed down. These are major concerns, as second as he made that running behind and the challenge came in there. Something that went right there. So you can't really tell. He's grabbing at the back of his leg. Word from pitch side that some discomfort.
I think there's a good chance of him continuing to play. If you pull up that quickly with a muscle injury, looked like it was up in the butt area, glute, whatever, can't take risks. So Edward Kieser would be one of the most likely player to come on, but let's wait and see. Maybe Canada Forbes will come on just to control the tempo of the match a bit more for Pittsburgh.
Shaking his head, and obviously Dikla has provided his contribution for tonight, but Pittsburgh in the midst of a league campaign, they want to climb up the table. Dikla has been so important. Now on 10 goals in all competitions, 12 games. Being helped off here. Not the scenes that Bob Villey wants to see, nor the scenes that Albert Dikla probably envisioned when this night began. It looked like Kiza came over, but he's being sent back to training with the substitutes, so he will not be coming on. Being told it will indeed be Canardo Forbes. So more midfield influence coming into the game. Pittsburgh, though, temporarily playing down to 10. Their star striker have to come off injured. Mertz down the line.
I don't think that's going to be the only change, though. I think for Columbus Crew, they'll be looking at a change very soon. Coaches generally give you 15 minutes in the second half. Well, that's coming to a close, and the likes of Amundsen, Farsi, and Adam Morris, you would think, will get the nod, or if not all three of them, certainly a combination of the three will get the nod in the next few minutes.
Now, with the stoppage in play, confirmation of the change, Canardo Forbes will enter. All USL first team in 2019 and 2020, all USL second team in 2018, 2021, and 2022 for this Pittsburgh side. Native of Jamaica, a massively influential figure his time in Pittsburgh. As mentioned, Gary, the all-time leader in assists with 44. It's away for a throw to the Riverhounds.
Don't call him King Kenny for nothing there at Pittsburgh. He's a very special player, and he can control the midfield so well, and that's probably what Pittsburgh need. They won the lap. He can just dictate proceedings, knock some dangerous through balls for the likes of Shawami.
King Kenny's a big shout for a nickname in the world of football.
It is. Clash of heads again, named after Kenny Dalglish.
Yep.
A former Liverpool manager and great player back in the 70s and 80s with Liverpool.
That's Shawunmi down there. Again, sort of a clash of heads there. It's Vayasia who went into the challenge for Columbus.
You can feel that. Again, shows you the commitment of both teams here. Get through to the next round of this Open Cup. They want to have the glory that goes with it. They're going to put their bodies on the line.
Did it hurt you just now to talk about a Liverpool legend?
You know what? You scored enough goals against me, so it does hurt, yes.
There will be a change here. It will be Vayasia who will make way. Coming on will be Gibran Rayo, 21-year-old, joined the MLS Next Pro side. Actually, rather, it's Melda Amundsen, I beg your pardon. So Amundsen will come off and move into that back three. And Rayo will also enter. And it's Roberts who will make way. So Amundsen and Rayo on for the double change. After that, coming together there with Shawunmi, will make way. Benton behind. And towards the substitute Forbes. So both teams forced into changes as the cross will come in. It's a dangerous one. It Pinged off of Mertz when he didn't know much about it. Booted clear. Russell Rowe trying to pick up on halfway. It's the help of Rayo. Helps it on nicely there and towards Russell Rowe. Challenge coming in from behind there from Dos Santos, who certainly put himself about in this one. Rayo, one of the 3 players brought up from the MLS Next Pro side, Columbus Crew 2. Rayo, who scored 13 goals in that league last year, a third of Rochester NYFC's output on the season. Columbus again trying to get going forward and create chances. Pittsburgh really trying to narrow this game, and difficult for Columbus to have some flow going forward. The poor ball from Quinton comes out for a throw. Another throw coming here on the challenge. Hughes.
And expected goals, 0.65 for the Riverhounds, just 0.24 for the visitors. 2-4, not enough. They really need, as the clock is beginning to tick into the final third of the match, they need to start creating proper chances, get balls in the box, get shots on the goalkeeper. They really haven't threatened Wade at all in this match, and that needs to change if they're going to get through to the next round, you would think.
Nice turn there from Russell Rowe. Enough on it there. Multiple sliding challenges coming in, and eventually a yellow card to be shown here to Danny Griffin. First yellow handed out in this one, and late challenge on Zawadzki there. But this one here.
Yeah.
A yellow card is issued.
Is it worthy of a yellow? Lots of little tackles have been let go, but I guess the referee's eventually drawn the line. Didn't see it as a dangerous tackle, but nonetheless, the referee's decision is final. Now, what can they do with it? Can they get something in that's going to cause Jamali Wade a problem? Is it going to be a cross between defender and goalkeeper?
Miranda now whipping in. Quinton tracking in the air. The shouts for a foul against Philip Quinton for a little shove in there on Arturo Ordóñez, but it will be a corner as they come off the Spanish center back last. Opportunity from the set piece here, a 7th of the evening for the Crew. In from Parente. It's right at weight. He arrived late there, catching a bit of the goalkeeper. Stayed down there. Late challenge in.
You can see it coming in here. And there's a bit of an elbow up there. Is it Keegan Hughes?
Yeah.
It's, you can see right into the goalkeeper's midriff. To me, that's a yellow card. If you're going to give a yellow card for Danny Griffin, that's a yellow. You hammer into a player with your elbow. But nonetheless, well done the goalkeeper. There's been a few of those balls in the box that have been far too close to Wade, just to comfortably come and collect.
For letting play continue, Shawumi playing into the penalty area. Shawumi was in behind and Hughes a handful of shirt there. Now Columbus trying to go quickly as Pittsburgh had committed some numbers into the attack. Bent in towards Parente and headed away. Anywhere will do for Canardo Forbes. Trying to find some impetus and some flow. Mostly been lacking for 64 minutes. Quinton. Amundsen just on as a sub. To the left of that back three. Certainly have a venture forward. Already has a couple of goals in MLS since arriving from NYCFC. Arsene does well to get it back. Ramirez now to have a hit. Deflection in the way. On the attempt to Ramirez, they're nearly in ahead of Wade. It's pinging around awkwardly, and eventually Wade can get onto it.
A little bit lucky there. He was waiting for that ball to come, and Ramirez was super sharp, got in front of him, and it was a huge scramble. But just having a look there, since Dick was come off, they've lost pace up front. I think that's allowing Columbus Crew to push more players up. They know that There's no way Shawumi's going to outrun any of the defenders at the back, including the likes of Philip Quinton. So you just wonder whether Edward Keys is a player they have to get on at some stage to threaten that back line. Because without Albert Dickwer, it's just going to be a little bit too comfortable for the Columbus Crew defense.
Quinton. Like Rayo has settled in on that left side of the attack. They're trying to control, but he's presented here to DC Harmon. He's trying to get beyond Amundsen. Tries the pullback, and Amundsen did manage to provide the intervention.
That's a set piece for Pittsburgh. Get the big guys in there. They'll get a second. No matter how they get it, they could very well put this game to bed. They fought hard to win this set piece. Let's see what they can do with it.
Will be Mertz over to take the corner.
Doesn't seem to be in much of a rush, does it?
No. Does not mind. 4 seconds coming off that clock. Swung into the area, plenty of height underneath it, but will come here for Fords. Goes for the cross rather than that first time strike. Clipped in, the header away. Now Rayo get something going forward. Russell Rowe will leave it. Now Sawatsky coming through the middle. A nice ball out for Rayo as Ramirez running beyond him. He stops though, just into the challenge of Luke Biasi. He's covering back. There's a man down. Middle of the park, Sawatsky, after putting that ball away, he's grabbing at his left leg. We still play on. Nearly the chance there for Shawumi to find Canardo Forge, but just didn't hit the ball correctly. Now Quinton is going to give it up and he's going to put it out for a throw, but instead the referee will stop play. And now light treatment on here for Sawatsky and real concerns. The player's been down for some time.
While he was down, there was a chance at one end for Columbus Crew. It came back the other way, and Shawumi nearly getting in Conrado Forbes, who was absolutely free in the middle of the box. This is the tackle here. There's a sort of coming together with the bar, and I don't think there's anything nasty about it, but clearly it's been a very painful one for Sawatsky.
I'm almost wondering if there's something non-contact in that with the way that he planted in this turf.
Could be, but the game got a little bit stretched there. Columbus Crew at one end, and then Pittsburgh counter-attacked, and there were numbers free. There was Canardo Forbes free in the middle of the box. Columbus Crew didn't get players back, and that's what's going to happen. You would think last 20 minutes as the Crew go for it, there'll be more open space in the middle, space between the lines, and good counter-attack from Riverhounds could very well finish off the Crew. Good to see he's running around there, Sawatsky.
Cooling spray coming out.
Magic spray.
Yes. Magically cures injuries. One knock taken there by Sean Sawatsky. Looks like he will try to give it a go. Pittsburgh still leading by Albert Dikwa's goal. Since come off with an injury. He's falling behind from Robbie Mertz. Dikwa finishing with the plum. Parente.
Closing down here by Pittsburgh. Look at this white shirt swarming Columbus Crew.
Yassi will provide the challenge there. It sure will be the intended target. Tracks in the air, the offside flag did come up. That was wide anyway.
An important job, Shawumi. That's just to hold the ball up every time he gets it. He wants to hold it, allow the Riverhounds players to join him. He's going to be a lone figure up front, you would think, for much of the remaining time in this match.
Quinton. Medranda. Down the line, but instead presented it to Mertz. Mertz drifting through, challenges, snapping in. She won back cleanly in the judgment of the referee. Medranda now towards Ramirez. Couldn't track it in the air, but be a throw. Pittsburgh fans pitch side appreciate the lack of urgency. Get the ball back quickly there to Ramirez. Keegan Hughes. It's a sign of the, at times, struggle for Columbus to find passing tempo. A simple one gone out of play.
It's closing down of Riverhounds and not giving them any time on the ball. And they're doing it so well. They know they begin to sniff the quarterfinals. They're going to work like Trojans.
Forbes again trying to find the long ball. This time a bit too much on it. There's one or two running the channels. Let's see if they can catch Columbus out. Lines high or moving spaces in behind.
It's always the danger in cup football. There's no recovery, not like a league where you can catch up the following week. When you fall behind, it's a dangerous place to be because the opposition, they can hang on to that one goal. They'll throw their bodies on the line because they've got the lead and they know the clock is ticking the whole time. The longer that Pittsburgh Riverhounds hold on to, the more desperate the crew will get. The crew need to find something. They need to bring off the bench. They need to fiddle things around. They need to maybe change their style and knock some long balls in. But so far, what they've offered hasn't been enough to bother Jamali Waite and company at the back for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Helped on. Russell Rowe unable to get to it. We'll take no chances. Just launched forward. No problems just getting it launched. Bush will do the same. Trying to take 3 and 4 touches to settle it, but eventually the challenge came from behind from Medranda, but Columbus struggling to get it from their own box to passing move up the pitch. Free kick given as Mertz, fouled there by Medranda. Time is running out here for Columbus as the double change will come on here. Trevor Zwetsloot, New Zealand native, will come on for DC Harmon. Junior Etsu on for Robbie Mertz. Mertz who comes off with the assist that has Pittsburgh a goal to the good.
Fresh kick so important at this stage of the match. You can see how hard they've had to work. Riverhounds will keep working, keep closing down, keep denying space to the crew in every which way they can. If they could do it for what, just over 15 minutes, they will be through to the quarterfinals.
Here's Forbes. Decent idea there to get around Arfston as he tries to clear it. It came for Shawunmi on the doorstep, and he just couldn't keep his effort down. The 2-goal lead was just 5 yards away. And the London-born centre forward just couldn't keep it down.
That's what they wanted, Pittsburgh, their chance, as you say, to wrap it up 2-0. It would have been virtually game, set, and match. Got a little bit of skill there from Conrado Forbes. Good chasing down, and what a chance. De Santos chases it down, and it just deflects straight through to Shawunmi. Really got to finish that, to be fair. He's not that far out. What a glorious opportunity for the Riverhounds.
Will not get too many better than that. Fortunate deflection, as you said, Gary, comes from the hard work of Pittsburgh. Forward up towards Forbes, but we're going to get to that one.
This is where you want to spend most of the game for Pittsburgh. Keep it in
Catch the game on ESPN
Columbus Crew's half.
Mike's Beer Bar. Meet us.
Don't see enough energy coming from the Crew to try and get in the opposition half. Again, it's a cup match. It's not a league match that you can lose and come back next week and make up. You've got to get into the opposition half somehow.
The referee finally let play continue. Challenging for Parente, and the supporters right there are not pleased with the referee, Jeremy Shear. Columbus will go again into the final quarter of an hour. Barely had a sniff of goal. Hughes. Arvston. Farsi being ready to come on. It's back there from Russell Rowe and away for the throw.
Tonight's attendance, 6,000.
This is better from the Crew. Now what can they do? They're in a good position on wide. Can they get service into the box?
Again, fans, thank you for your support.
Trying to get to the byline there. It's pulled away for a throw. Just announced in the stadium a record crowd in the 24-year history of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Over 6,100 here at Highmark Stadium. Lovely to see on a big cup night. Aiden Morris, Mo Farsi getting ready to come on. Parente into the penalty area. Will come here. The edge of the area, the striking from Arvston. Didn't quite catch it cleanly. Parente harrying. And eventually the free kick given after a bit of deliberation. It's Medranda who will come off for the introduction of Morris. Most consistent league starters available to Wilfried Nancy. Morris has started every league match. Farsi all but one down the right side. And they provide the influence in this one. Now Farsi. Get it forward and it's away from substitute Etu for the throw. Columbus sticking with two at the back. Two of their usual central defenders. Getting everything at it here. Decent skill. And now Forbes. Get it crossed, but just didn't read it correctly. Confirmed attendance figure, 6,107. Here's Aiden Morris. Drive the Crew forward, but running into three there. Sawatsky. Back from Morris. Now Amundsen. Hughes with the entire Pittsburgh team in front of him. Arvston. Turn around Dos Santos. Surrounded by two. It's been such a key for Pittsburgh. Almost in every moment, two players around the ball. Not compromised defensively. Farsi trying to get it quickly into Russell Rowe, but he lost his footing at the vital moment. Sawatsky.
Getting hemmed in now, Pittsburgh. They need to release this pressure. Canado Forbes get the ball to him. They didn't try and play out. Shawamni's, when he does get possession, he's got to hold on to it.
Trying to help it on there for Parente, but he couldn't control it. Volleyed forward. Showing me the only player really providing any forward options. Amundsen towards Ramirez, and Parente now trying to interchange there with Russell Rowe. Morris and Rayo. His cross in towards the near post, and Ramirez was nearly there to it. But caught there by Jamali Waite. had a ton to do, but has been up to the challenge each and every time.
Yep, good hands from the goalkeeper, but I think Christian Ramirez is the player you want to try and get on the end of those crosses. He's seen hardly any service this match, but he's so dangerous. Just takes one moment and he can get them back on level terms. That's where Canado Forbes needs to control that ball and keep that possession. But the counter-attack coming.
Marston. Farsi in towards that near post. Looks with the header on and further clear. Back to Ohio.
Crowd that know they're not far away now. It's just 10 minutes of hard look. Here they go, the white shirts again. Total graft, good organization. Nobody skimps, nobody dares. Bob Lilly would scream at you across the pitch. But the effort they put in. And again, Columbus Crew just seem content to play across the back when that clock is ticking down very quickly.
Just the 9 minutes left to play in the 90. Columbus to keep themselves alive in this competition, avoid crashing out of the competition against the USL side for a second straight year. Pittsburgh just have to get rid, but they do with some intent. Strong win in the air there. Hughes, but Riverhounds enjoying it that little bit. This time really connecting a few passes for some time. Forbes towards the middle. Someone's coming in. Off a Crew player. It will be a goal kick.
For a moment there, but Canado Forbes was able just to control the ball, knock it across the middle. But good play by the Crew to win the ball back.
Helping fuel the team. Time Street Food is the official
Really is. This is what cup football is all about. It's going down to the wire here. So Pittsburgh defend and they stop Columbus Crew. They just have one good chance. They need to get back on level terms.
Down the line there from Arfston, and now Farsi trying to get round. A bit too overeager. Gone through to Shields. It will be a free kick. More time off the clock here. Seconds tick. Pittsburgh can feel it.
The crowd are getting more and more excited. Just those players that have come on for Columbus Crew, some of them coming on a little bit late to really impact the game. Look at Farsi, Aidan Morris, could they come on a little bit earlier? Shields doing really well there. To not only see the ball over line, but just to slow the game down. They've been under pressure, Riverhounds, whether he is actually injured or just sort of making the best of the moment. Either way, it's good for Riverhounds. They can just take a breather, a little chat, organize themselves for these final 7 minutes plus added time.
Shields, who was a top 5 pick in MLS college draft, went to DC. Loudon, time in New England with Revolution 2, and now here in Pittsburgh. Need to start a USL match for the Riverhounds, but opponent here in the Open Cup. Back on the pitch now. In that line of 5. Defending in front of their own area. Farsi. Keegan Hughes. And Aidan Morris. Usually amongst the back 5 as Morris has given it away. Now getting forward here, Danny Griffin scored the goal in the last round. Has Pittsburgh at this point taking it to the corner flag here. Trying to hang on to it there. Swetsuit is to the inside a corner. Short there, international New Zealand.
Jogging across, sedate pace into the corner, but just over 5 minutes plus added time. Second will finish it off. You'll think that it's more about, I guess, running the clock down, short, run the clock down. See if you can get a free kick, see if you can get another corner. Yep, which they do. There's another.
Forwards will take. Time coming off the clock. He's really yet to have that gilt-edged chance. Just trying to emerge from the corner with it. They've just about done so. Through Rayo. He's given it away. Chance here for Pittsburgh to get the second. And Evan Bush with a strong save to deny Danny Griffin a goal in a second straight Open Cup round.
Brilliant from Danny Griffin, the hard work, winning the ball back. Have a look here, they've got the ball, Columbus Crew. Danny Griffin there, chases, wins it back. And then he looks for the opportunity to shoot, gets it on target. Evan Bush making a good reflex save. Once again, the desire and commitment of these Riverhound players is superb.
Shields come on for Hogan. Edward Kiza come on for Shawundi. So a double change here. Final throws to the dice from Bob Lilly. Just before this corner. Swung into the penalty area. They're away. Now Dos Santos on there from Forbes. Will be a throw into Columbus Crew. Not much time left. Columbus will be desperate. Right back to Bush. Just has to get rid. He's not had a ton of success winning second balls, but Morris helping it onto this left side for Melda Amundsen. Sawatsky. Arfston. Farsi trying to get something to it, but Dos Santos is in the way for the Riverhounds. Now Sawatsky facing pressure. An offside position there was Kiza, but he wasn't going to get to it anyway. Morris. Pittsburgh trying to get to an Open Cup quarterfinal. Travel to FC Cincinnati. Should they hang on? Challenge in, throw in for the Crew. Parente. Sort of night that a record crowd comes to see. Now, 6,100 people are nervous. Their team hangs on. Wait, hangs on. That cross that gets swung in.
Almost there, aren't they? The crowd can taste it. Just looking at expected goals, still Columbus Crew 0.4. Just not good enough. Doesn't matter how you want to swing this. They have not tested Jamali Way. This is a cup match. You have to. You've got to get crosses and you've got to get shots in. You can't just play pretty football at home to get through, and that's what it's been for me. Nothing more than that. Whereas 1.21 expected goals for Pittsburgh, nearly a goal ahead expected. They're a goal ahead on the pitch, and they quite rightly, I think, deserve to be a goal ahead.
Actually been the more likely in this second half, despite having almost none of the ball. Chance on the hit from Griffin. Great chance on the doorstep for Shawundi. Probably been the best chance of the game. Dequist goal still the difference. Drifting forward, Sawatsky. Parente on for Russell Rowe, trying to return it for Isaiah Parente. Clear for the throw. As we're in the final minute of the 90. Pittsburgh trying to hang on. Keegan Hughes. Wide for Farsi. 3 assists in the league. On the line here, the cross coming in and flinging himself at it there was Rayo. Got underneath it. Never really a threatening header.
Some of the few crosses that they've got in this entire match. That's much better. Down the line, whip it in. ask questions of the defenders. Mayo gets it, but he's under too much pressure to get that on target, but at least he got on the end of it. Just haven't had anywhere near enough, and the easy way to tell it is how many saves has Wade had to make, Jamali Wade. 1, 2. Most of those very simple saves from outside the box shots, so they really haven't tested the goalkeeper at all as yet. Still got 6 minutes of added time though.
Crowd not pleased with that particular decision. 6 more minutes to hang on. 6 more minutes for Columbus to find something. Amundsen is in space. On here for Rayo. Returning it for Mel to Amundsen. He'll get the cross in. Will come all the way through. Awkward there from Dos Santos and clear from Griffin. But Columbus will go again. Sean Zawadzki. Late back there, nearly given away. Pittsburgh still with the energy to close down. Just sitting behind the ball. Really preventing Columbus from getting into forward areas. That front 5 in particular is put in the hard yards. Hughes. His hand almost shaking. Stopping their feet. Supporters in full voice. Arston. Morris. Lovely switch out here to Amundsen. Can he provide the right ball? He'll get the cross in. Maneuver underneath it. Dos Santos away. It will be a throw. Quickly into Aidan Morris. And Mo Farsi. Keegan Hughes. He'll now loft it in towards the back post. Arriving Ramirez is trying to get something on it. It will be a corner.
Luke Piassi doing so well there, just to make sure that that ball wasn't headed back in. Now he's saying to the crowd, come on, we want your energy. We are battling to keep them out.
Final throw of the dice here. Taha Habrun will come on. Just signed an MLS Next Pro contract 4 days ago. Scored in his first MLS Next Pro appearance. Now will come on for his Columbus Crew debut. 17 years of age, was the player of the tournament at the Generation Adidas Cup. Tournament held amongst several academies across the U.S. Cross swung in, headed away. Now controlling it there is Habrun. Farsi lifting in, it's a straightforward catch. A little bit extra there from Hughes. A couple of Pittsburgh players none too pleased as a yellow card is shown for Keegan Hughes.
Quite rightly so. The goalkeeper without going for the ball. That's a needed free kick. At least he's trying to do something. I'm not condoning the foul, but at least Keegan Hughes is trying to get in there and make something happen. Trying to put some pressure on. He just did it the wrong way. He's always going to get himself into trouble. Once again, these high balls with time on their side has made it fairly comfortable for Jamali Wade just to come and collect them. But collect them well, he's done.
Surges in noise. Valente giving away. Entu going down. Referee unmoved. Farsi. Stadium is roaring. Amundsen into the area. Ramirez now trying to get there. Griffin carrying away from the penalty area. Now Kiza. With a burst of pace, he'll take it towards the corner flag. Hughes, not a ton of energy left, but he has to try and put the challenges in. Kiza will try and win the corner, but he's instead presented it there to Amundsen. Free kick given behind the play, and it's going to be a straight red card to Edward Kiza in the final knockings of this one. No real concerns. We'll have to get a look and see what that challenge was, as it was away from the ball. So Watsky, the player, on the wrong end of it. Let's see what happens here. It's more of
of a push off. I don't know if it's you call it a punch, but either way, it's a silly thing for Edward Keezer to do. You 1-0 up. It's not like you're 1-0 down. You're 1-0 up. Just take it easy. He's only been on the pitch a couple of minutes. Fortunately for him, there's only a couple of minutes left, so the impact should be minimal. Although he'll miss the next round of the Open Cup.
See the disappointment in himself, shoving out at the back of the head there of Sawatsky. Now the Crew can get a goal. Play against 10-man Pittsburgh in extra time, and probably would fancy themselves, but they don't have a ton of time left. A bit of discretion in the referee as well. Up towards Russell Rowe, and he had that pocket of space, but he had to control it. Instead, it comes kindly for White.
That's the first big ball they've put in, the first bit of, not such quality play, and it's the best chance, one of the best chances they've had. That's what I've been saying the last 10-15 minutes. Get in the box. It doesn't have to be pretty. It has to result in a goal, and that nearly did, inches away from Russell Rowe getting a boot on that, and they're going to bow out here, Columbus Crew, without really having tested Jamali Waite.
Thomas Roberts' left-footed effort is probably best of the match. It was a straightforward near post save. Into the air, into the back heel on for Russell Rowe. Hughes couldn't control. Now Farsi. And it's full time. Pittsburgh have done it. Another MLS scalp taken by Pittsburgh Riverhounds. They knocked out New England in the 4th round. They take out Columbus Crew in the 5th. Carrying the flag for the USL Championship. Pittsburgh Riverhounds are through to the Open Cup quarterfinal for the first time since 2001. What a story. What a moment for Bob Lilly's side.
Absolutely brilliant from Bob Lilly and his team. Top class. Expected goals tell you the story. 1.35, and that man got the 1 goal. Dikwa 1.35 for the visitors, just 0.5. They never created enough. They didn't test. The better side, from my point of view, is Pittsburgh Riverhounds. They deserve to go through. They have been stunning. They were always going to be tough at home. They're in a great vein of form. 7 matches now unbeaten. They've won 5 and drawn 1 at home. They've got the USL's top goal scorer in that man. They were always going to be tough, but Columbus Crew did not do enough to test them. Well done, Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
And through to the Open Cup quarterfinal. Knocking out MLS opposition for a 2nd time. And they'll travel now to FC Cincinnati. Here's the goal. Robbie Mertz in for Albert Dikwa. That's the goal that sends them through.
All the time in the world, wasn't it, for Dikwa to pick his spot? And from then onwards, most of the chances were for the home side. A couple of little half chances, maybe the effort from the edge of the box here. And that one there, nearly Ramirez getting on the end of it. A little bit of a scramble, but that's all they had. The quality came from the home side. Conrado Forbes out wide, just holding the ball up. And this is a bit of a deflection of DeSantis here. And Shawami got to bury that. That should have been it. So the next best chance after the goal still falls for Pittsburgh. And that's why they deserve to go through to the next round.
And Shawami nearly making it happen. And then on the pressure there, Griffin, just a bit of effort. His strike forcing Bush into a save.
Great effort from Griffin to win the ball back. And then the silly red card. Seemed more of a push than a hit, but either way, you can't raise your hands. And Edward Keezer doesn't really impact the match. It impacts his chances of playing in the next round, though.
And then getting it launched there up towards Russell Rowe, but just couldn't control it. And really, Columbus just did not threaten much for the full duration of the 90 minutes. They had 75% of the ball, but Pittsburgh had all the good chances and emerges, fair to say, rightful victors of this match.
They do. In my book, absolutely. It doesn't matter what possession you have. It's what you do with it. And Pittsburgh Riverhounds did well with it. And the way they closed down the effort, they didn't allow Columbus Crew to create chances. And Columbus Crew couldn't find a way through against this fantastic Pittsburgh side.
And here is this side of the bracket now that Pittsburgh are through. Again, traveling to FC Cincinnati, TQL Stadium in 2 weeks' time. Either June 6th or the 7th is the date to circle for Riverhound supporters. As tonight, they've taken Columbus Crew out of the competition, and they'll try and take out the other Ohio MLS side in the next round. Down by the Monongahela, it is a night to remember for the record crowd that came out to Highmark Stadium. Albert Dikwa's goal was enough. It's Pittsburgh Riverhounds have beaten Columbus Crew by a goal to nil. Pittsburgh through to the quarterfinal to take on FC Cincinnati. For Gary Bailey and our tremendous production team, my name is Chris Whittingham signing off. We've had a cup set in Pittsburgh. They've knocked Columbus out of the competition. Pittsburgh through to the quarterfinal. On the
time on the ball at the back. They've done so well to get back in that match against Cincinnati before that goalkeeping error cost them.
Now Mertz again trying to play in Dikwa. Dikwa's in behind. Dikwa's open the scoring. The flag stays down.